We love to romanticize youth. Bright futures, boundless potential, hashtags about leaders of tomorrow. But those are plastered over stock photos of smiling teenagers with backpacks. Here's the inconvenient truth. Every single year, about 4.2 million young people in the United States experience some form of homelessness. In Canada, it's about 35,000 youth annually. That's not a handful. That's not rare. That's an entire stadium packed with kids, except in this stadium, the lights are out, the doors are locked, and there's no one waiting to drive them home. And yet, when youth lose their housing, we act like they should suddenly morph into self-sufficient adults. Like being homeless magically fast forwards their development. Newsflash. If a 16-year-old can't remember to take the chicken out of the freezer, they probably shouldn't be expected to navigate homelessness solo. There's no single road into youth homelessness. There's a whole web of them. Runaways. Forget the Hollywood image of the angsty teen with a guitar case and a dream. Real runaways aren't chasing adventure. They're escaping abuse, neglect, violence. Running away isn't a tantrum. It's self-preservation. And then there's abandonment. Some youth don't run away at all. They're shoved. 2S LGBTQIA+, pregnant, too independent, or simply not fitting the family script. Parents lock the door and say, don't come back. That's not discipline. It's desertion. Then there's aging out of foster care. Foster care is supposed to protect kids. Instead, it often sets a timer. Depending upon the jurisdiction, come a specific birthday like turning 18 or 21, and the system hands you a garbage bag of your belongings and says, congrats on adulthood. Don't die out there. That's not a transition plan. That's a state-sanctioned eviction notice. And loss. Sometimes it's not a choice. It's a tragedy. A parent dies, a caregiver goes to prison, families fracture like glass on concrete. Youth are left untethered, not because they failed, but because everyone around them did. Here's your first aha moment. Youth are not just adults with fewer tattoos and more interesting playlists of artists you've never heard of. Neurologically, emotionally, socially, their brains are still under construction. Think IKEA furniture 3/4 assembled with extra screws lying around and the Allen key is missing. Expecting teenagers to navigate homelessness is like adults trying to hand someone a learner's permit and tossing them into rush hour traffic and saying, you'll figure it out, kid. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. And when we funnel youth into adult shelters, that's not support, that's trauma with fluorescent lighting. A 17-year-old wedged between a man detoxing from alcohol and someone struggling with cumulative trauma is not age-appropriate shelter. That's negligence in a bunk bed. Let me pull the curtain back. I've got 4 kids. 1 is through the teenager years, 2 are in it now. Parenting them is like herding caffeinated squirrels. Brilliant one moment, feral the next. Some days I'm in awe. Other days I'm Googling how to get permanent earplugs delivered same day. And as a parent, I don't always get it right. Sometimes I need backup. Sometimes they need backup. That's family. That's messy. That's normal. Now, imagine all the drama, hormones, and chaos of being a teenager without a safe place to land. No fridge to raid, no bed to sulk in, no parent to argue with about curfew, just survival. Expecting a teenager to thrive in that mess, that's not resilience. That's cruelty disguised as a life lesson. Here's where it gets darker. Because homelessness for youth isn't just sleeping rough, it's becoming a target. There's exploitation. Homeless youth are prime prey. Traffickers don't need to hunt far. Vulnerability is the open door. There's survival sex. Trading one's body for food or shelter. That isn't a choice, that's coercion. Drug use, it's not about rebellion, it's about numbing pain. Trying to dull the trauma of living in survival mode. And there's violence. For many homeless youth, danger isn't a possibility, it's a daily certainty. Assault, robbery, abuse, they're baked into street life. And here's a picture worth holding in your head. Imagine a 16-year-old trying to do their homework in the corner of a Burger King. Maybe they've got a backpack if they haven't lost it, sold it, or had it stolen. They're not thinking about prom or driver's ed or college applications. They're just hoping the manager doesn't notice and kick them out before the fries get cold. Every night on the street is a lottery ticket when the prize is trauma. And because they're young, they're more trusting, easier to manipulate, easier to break. Here's the hopeful twist. Housing and support cut those risks dramatically. A safe roof slashes the odds of exploitation. A trusted adult reduces the likelihood of trafficking. Stable housing means less exposure to drugs and violence. Housing isn't just a place to sleep. It's protection. It's prevention. It's a shield. Prevention is the part of the story we rarely tell, but it's the smartest play. Conflict mediation before families implode, that's smart. Supports that catch kids before they're tossed, smart. Turning foster care into a springboard instead of a cliff edge, smart. And let's talk money. Prevention is cheaper, way cheaper. But apparently we'd rather save pennies now and spend fortunes later. That's like refusing to buy smoke alarms because you don't want to waste money, then acting shocked when your house burns down. Prevention isn't just fiscally smart, it's morally obvious. Here's another aha. It's not enough to house youth. We have to support them in ways that actually help them grow. That's where things like positive youth development come in, or as I call it, treating youth like human beings with potential. Instead of focusing on what's broken, PYD builds on strengths. Connection, confidence, competence, character, and caring. In plain English, it's not just a bed for tonight. It's a trampoline for tomorrow. And here's where the parent in me comes out. Even in my house, with stability, safety, and Wi-Fi, my teens need encouragement. They need structure. And they need about 47 reminders a day. One thinks taking out recycling qualifies as an advanced life skill. If my kids need that much scaffolding, imagine how much support youth need when they're homeless. Prevention won't catch everyone. Some youth will still fall into homelessness. And when they do, here's the deal. Couch surfing? That's not a housing strategy. That's a countdown. Adult shelters? Wrong age, wrong fit, wrong vibe. That's like enrolling a 9th grader in grad school and acting surprised when they flounder. The solution? Housing designed for youth, with input from youth. Housing that comes with mentors, pathways to education and work, mental health supports. Housing that says, you belong here, you matter, you have a future. Because, good luck, kid, is not a housing plan. So the next time you hear someone say, kids are resilient, they'll figure it out, stop them. Resilience does not mean abandonment. We don't hand teenagers car keys with no instructions and call it driver training. And we shouldn't shove youth into homelessness and call it resilience. Resilience grows when youth are supported, housed, and given a chance to thrive. Youth homelessness isn't inevitable. It isn't just the way things are. It's not smaller adult homelessness. It's its own crisis, and it's one we can solve with prevention, with housing, with the radical belief that teenagers deserve more than just survival. They deserve a future. And let's be honest, if you wouldn't want your own kids to sleep under a bridge, why would you ever think it's okay for someone else's kid? Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share your thoughts on youth homelessness and solutions in the comments.